Okay, this is like the 15th time I've tried to record this video. Alright, so I wanted to talk about my family, and kind of my progress with them, and how they've surprised me in the last couple of weeks. So, my grandmother passed away a couple weeks ago. She was in pain and suffering for a long time, and, she passed. Anyways, so my mother called me and she said, I'd really, really like for you to come. And I said, I'd like to come too. I wanted her to know that I had been trying to really have a relationship with my grandmother, because I wanted her to see me. I wanted her to see me happy, and I wanted to try and have a relationship with her and just be with her as she grew. But obviously, I didn't get to do that because she passed. Anyways, so I I I said I would really, really like to come. I'm like, however, it's really expensive to fly out at the last minute, and I'm like, I don't know where I'd stay. I don't know all this, da da da. And my mom was like, no, we got it covered. Like, just rearrange your schedule and we've got it covered. And I was like, wow, okay. Because last minute airline tickets are really, really expensive. So she also said to me, she goes, I don't want you to think that you are not welcome in this family. She goes, I want you to come, because she's like, I don't want you to feel like that, that you're left out. And for her to say that, for her to even think about that, is a big thing, because she's not thinking, she has to worry about her mother, or taking care of all that stuff, and you know so the fact that she's aware of that, um, I mean, I was just like, yeah, of course I want to come, like, of course. Um, so I arrived there, and it was a very, very emotionally exhausting trip. However, it wasn't necessarily all bad emotions. There was just a lot of emotions. Of course, I was sad at the funeral, but I was also really proud of my family, and really, like, I felt like we got really, really close. So when I arrived there, and I arrived like literally hours before the actual funerals to take place. Like, I hopped off the plane, changed into my funeral clothes, and then was sped off to the church. Um, and everybody immediately hugged me. Of course, they were like, I'm sorry for your loss, da, 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 and I never know what to say to that, but I felt like it was genuine. I felt like every interaction was genuine, and that was not something that I was expecting. I was expecting really uncomfortable interactions, and kind of just like, oh, like, you're here, I'm gonna pretend that I like you. But they were generally like, oh, I'm so glad you could come, like, I'm really, really happy to see you. um, they even, they called me Vincent. They didn't really worry about my name. They didn't, and these are people that I haven't seen in a very, very long time, since I was a child, you know, um, and the fact that they would, I didn't have to say anything. Like, they immediately welcomed me was amazing. I wasn't expecting it. I wasn't expecting almost the protective nature of some of them too, and they were just like, if anybody gives you any trouble, you let us know. Like, the fact that they were like, you are part of this family, and that they welcomed me, and were just like, you're one of, like, I wasn't expecting that, and I wasn't expecting to feel so welcome. um, and they were completely welcome, and I didn't, they didn't ask me embarrassing questions like, when are you going to get the surgery, or anything like that. And they were all really respectful of me, and so were my parents. They it was surprising, because I was expecting a lot of awkwardness from them. Like, usually, sometimes, there was still a lot of like hesitation, like, do I mention them as my son? But obviously, like, if it's obvious that I'm their son. Like, I just, we all hugged and we all had a really good time. I mean, not good like we partied, but I felt like a lot of fear that I had previously was 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 abolished. Like I feel extremely close to my family now because of this. You know, and they really did surprise me. And I felt like they respected me, and that is something that doesn't come along easily. Now, I could just be projecting, but I felt like there was a lot of love and respect and admiration, and equally, and it makes me want to continue to be in uh in their life while they have it left too. And I have a lot of older relatives, not, I mean, not super old, but who knows, anything could happen. And it makes me want to cherish kind of while they're still here. um, so, the reason I talk a lot about my family on my channel is because a lot of I feel like family is a very important role in transition. How they react can affect your transition, is what I'm trying to say. Now, and to watch. Before I started recording this, I watched the video where I wrote a letter to my mother and how scared I was, and how just I could barely speak. I was about near tears, and then to hear to where I'm at now, where like I can call her and she says, I love you, Vincent, like let's, like when are you gonna come home? Like that's a huge change. Now, this did not happen overnight. I came out when I was 15, and I told them I like girls, and it did not go well. It did not take well. Now I'm 28, so 13 years. That's a really really long time, and but the fact that they changed and that they love me and accept me. I think that they're always going to be a little uncomfortable with it, but that's okay. I'm uncomfortable with some of the things that they do and that they are, but I still love them, and I'm not embarrassed to be around them. I'm just like, these are my parents. They're parents, and the fact that I finally feel welcome in the family. After I changed my name, after I moved across the country, like maybe that's what it took. And I don't know. I finally feel like I can have a relationship with my family. Because all this tension, all this anxiousness that I built up in my head, all this fear, it's gone. I feel like it was a really incredible emotional journey for me. Those like 2, 3 days that I was there. And I guess my main message is that people can surprise you. So I know it might be hard right now sometimes if you live with a family member, but if they love you and if they want you in their life, they will try to include you. And it might be hard for them. And eventually, like for me, I was just like, enough is enough. Like, you need to respect me, who I am, or I'm not going to be part of this family. It took me a while to get there, but I finally stood up for myself. And I think people can respect that. So, anyways, I wanted to tell you guys about that because I just felt like it was something really important to note, that it wasn't all doom and gloom with my family. I hope everyone had a happy 14th, Valentine's Day. If you have a loved one, that's great. If you don't, that's great too. I am alone. I am solo. That's okay. I'm okay with that. I'll have somebody when the stars align. Anyways, I'm gonna go order some pizza and watch some TV, and so I hope everyone does well, and I will talk to you guys next time. All right. Would you?